What is up, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new episode of Toy Addicts Anonymous. I'm here with my boy Carlos, as always, and we have a very special guest today, my buddy Elmer from the Bronx. Let's say a warm welcome for Mr. Bodega Joe Dios. What's going on, guys?
Hey, what's up, man? I think a lot of people would be like, who the hell is that? Because I've never publicly said my name. Not that you did anything wrong or anything, but
they're about to find out who you are, brother. Anyway, how's everybody doing today? You know, it's been a bit of a hiatus. We haven't done a live, I want to say in about 2 weeks.
In a while, yeah.
Yeah, Carlos was out of town.
It's my fault. I was on vacation.
It wasn't your fault, dude. I was in spring break. I was in Orlando. I was chilling too.
How was Orlando, dude?
But yeah, man. So we're back, and we got a lot of fun stuff to talk about. I got a lot of cool stuff that came in. I know, Carlos, you got stuff. Elmer, you got a brand new channel that is so badass, dude. I love your new content and your creative soul, and you have some awesome ideas. And I just, watching your videos, I was just talking to you off camera. It's like, why haven't you been doing this before? Because it's so entertaining. It's so such a fun watch. Like, I couldn't take my eyes off the screen because your editing, you got it down packed. And it's just, it's awesome. And I think it's like something that it's really calling your name, man. And, congratulations. I think
appreciate that.
I think you found a little golden nugget there, bro.
Yeah, I think it's like one of those things where it's when the light bulb finally goes off, and then you're like, okay, maybe I should get into this and move in this direction. But I feel like the journey, I mean, we've had a personal friendship for years, and you've known that, I've had a lot of health issues, and what kind of kicked everything off was just this long string of health issues and kind of being in bed a lot and not really being able to do anything. And then just seeing other artists crafting and kind of doing sort of the type of thing that I'm into, and just kind of telling myself, all right, the day that I'm feeling better, when I'm able to get back on my feet, I'm just going to go at it, and I'm just going to start my own thing and not look back. And that's basically what I did.
Right on, dude. Right on. That's awesome. And, it's like I told you, I literally shed a tear when I saw your video, because it's just I know what you've gone through on a personal level. I've been there checking in on you, and it's been really rough since COVID, and, seeing you rise from the ashes kind of, and come up with this channel and see all this creativity spilling out of you, dude. It's awesome. And that's the kind of stuff that inspires people, people that are probably in a dark place right now, and they feel like nothing's going their way. To see someone like you go through what you went through and just rise out of that, with this beautiful gift that you're giving people on social media. That's awesome, dude.
I mean, I'm here trying to keep with it and just doing my best, because I feel like, the channel that I have, I wouldn't necessarily call it a tutorial channel where I'm showing you, in depth, step by step of how I create things. It's more of let's come hang out as I do this thing. And you're seeing me work, but it's kind of in a way where it's it's not really time lapse per se, but you're seeing me go through the steps. And then at the end, you see the final product. And my hope for people is just that, when you watch it, it's you could kind of pick up little nuggets here and there of oh, that's kind of a cool trick. Maybe I could apply it to what I'm doing, or,
Absolutely. Yeah. And, I know you're a huge, huge fan. You're probably the equivalent of what I am for Thundercats with Final Fantasy, right?
I would say so. Yeah.
It's cool that you've kicked things off and in a timely manner, because the new Final Fantasy VII Rebirth came out, and you've been hyping that up and just so hyped yourself, and then doing all these cool customs based on characters that you come across in the game that haven't been produced as figures, correct? I don't think any of the
Yeah,
states,
they haven't. No. And
which is
that was the thing that like yeah, for years, like especially the Final Fantasy VII fans, you only got a select number of the characters. You never got the full squad, especially like in 6-inch scale. And with the release of that, that just amped me up to try to be like, okay, let me go back to the original game and see how many enemies I could just create and try to see how elaborate I could get with it. I even got some like this was one of my latest that I did for anybody that recognized it. It's like the bomb from Final
yeah,
Fantasy VII. And so I made it like in different sizes. So you have like one that's ready to explode, and then you got a smaller one. And so it's things like that that I'm just like moving forward, trying to see, you know, how many of these figures can I make and how creative can I get with it? Because I think that's like the most fun for me. It's kind of looking at something and seeing like how can I use that to kind of incorporate into what I'm doing? You know?
yeah, definitely. So, I wanted to talk to you about these customs. So, one of the things that's really cool about your creative process is that you're finding ways to create art with things that you find laying around. And nowadays everything is so expensive. Even the materials, the raw materials to do things are expensive. So I wanted to highlight something that you sent me for my birthday,
Sure.
and it's so amazing. Have it on the. You even made a diorama base for it, and this really caught me by surprise because I knew you were working on the vehicle, but I never saw. I didn't think you were going to do a diorama for it too.
Well,
But
I mean, it has to be in the air, so I had to make something for it.
So this is a sky cutter, Carlos. In case you don't know,
I love it.
it's one of
Thank
the mutant vehicles, and Elmer made this out of like objects that you find around the house, right?
Yeah. Would you like to play a game? I got some of the objects I actually used to make
Oh,
that,
really?
and you tell me if you recognize it. This
Okay.
is from, I believe, like the top of a shampoo bottle or a conditioner bottle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you see in that what I used, like where I used it?
Is it this piece right here?
And no, maybe if you look at it like that.
Oh my God, it's the front part, the yellow part,
Oh,
right?
the
Yeah.
bottom.
That
You know what I
that
thought?
piece is this piece right here.
I thought
Oh,
this was
that's-
like a gorilla glue tip.
Yeah. Well, no.
That's
Well,
big.
that's a separate piece because like this doesn't have that rounded
Right.
piece,
You
so I
packed
had
it.
to add another piece. But that main piece is this.
But man, like it's crazy how cool this thing looks. And then the fact that you can sit Jackalman on it, and you can't see it here, it's gonna be hard to see, but he even did like the LCD screen where Jackalman actually has his sights on the Thunder Tank. I think that was so cool.
And what I did for that was I actually used the Super 7 Thunder Tank.
And
That's
a Beardo
what's
head.
in the screen.
Yeah.
So like I photoshopped like the Super 7 Thunder Tank, and then I just put like a little target around it, and then I printed it out.
That's
Yeah.
cool. But yeah, man, this
The base looks amazing too.
yeah,
Thank
dude.
you.
This is awesome, bro. And like literally the most amazing birthday gift I ever got. It's so cool. So talk to us a little bit about that. Like obviously you used insulation foam for the base and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, I used a whole bunch of different things, like the part in the front that had like the little
ridges.
rough lines on it. Yeah, the ridges. That was from like a takeout container, and so I just cut that out. Like the actual seat itself is part of like a takeout container,
Oh wow.
and that's why it has like those ridges. The back piece to it, like I always walk around with Tic Tacs, but if you take this piece out on the top, that's the back piece of the Sky Cutter,
Okay.
wow.
like the Tic Tac. Yeah.
You know, it's crazy.
So like
because
it's just,
when you see household objects, right?
yeah,
You-
yeah.
You automatically like position them on something else, and you think, oh wait, I can make this out of that. So that's
And I think it's the whole like the whole recycle thing. Like you're supposed to reuse first. It's like reuse, renew, recycle. And so it's like that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to see first, like what do I have around the house that I can use to kind of maybe glue together pieces to it to make it look like something else.
that's super cool, man.
That's really fantastic, because I remember when I was little.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm coming from Panama, from the countryside in Panama, and back in the days, like I was like really much like from a really humble family and everything. So I didn't have like the opportunity to get like every single toy that all my friends had, right? So I remember I was like getting, like, for example, like crazy stuff. Like I was getting like parts or pieces. Like for example, if I got this, like this McFarlane Warhammer, and I just have like the backpack, I was like pretending that the backpack was kind of like a spaceship.
Yeah.
And I was playing with stuff like that using my imagination. But what you do is like going, like taking stuff like this and create something else with this, like not just by using your imagination, but using actual parts to create new stuff. And that's a really unique way of customize stuff, like not just painting and adding stuff, to the actual figures itself, or sculpting yourself, but you're using actual things that you can find everywhere, like things like this,
like that. Exactly.
That's really like, I mean, I bet you can create a dog out of this base.
It's something like that. Yeah. And that's, I think that's the balance I have to find too, because like it's really easy to just end up now like the room becomes this giant catch-all for all these things that I'm looking to use. So there's like a balance of like, okay, I can't save everything, but if this thing I see and I could use it in an upcoming project, then I'll keep it around.
Yeah. So I get a question. When you like, that's like, to me, it's kind of like new, but to you, when you get like a project, for example, right? And you visualize the project, like what's the first thing you look around you to build something? Like,
so my process is when I have the idea of what it, especially if it's something that already exists, I need to have like printed reference pictures of it. So like for the Sky Cutter, for example, I got a lot of reference pictures like from the OG like cartoon where it showed like different designs of the Sky Cutter. And
correct.
then once I had that kind of pasted everywhere, then I'm looking and I'm trying to see, okay, what can I possibly use to kind of match that shape, or what two things can I bring together to kind of make that piece come alive. And so like I have like buckets and bags of like plastic containers, takeout containers. And so like whenever I have something where it's like, oh, maybe I need some texture, I'll go to like a takeout container. Or if I need something that might be like a glass bubble or something, I'll like, I had some, for instance, like some plastic ornaments, like the see-through ornaments. And so I was like, okay, I can use that to kind of make something that has like a little bubble to it. And so it's just a matter of kind of like looking around and seeing what would be the best representation of this thing with what I already have. And so that's kind of like where my head goes.
Okay. And like, what are the rules? Like, so, like every single artist has some rules, right? That you don't want to break or go like, okay, I don't want to go that route because it's going to be something that everybody else is doing. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like you want to be unique, and you are. So where is the limit where you're like, okay, I need to be in this space right here to make myself, unique and apart from everybody else?
Okay. So the first thing I thought of when like you were saying, what are the rules? I was like, don't set fires when your wife is not home, because I've done that before, especially like with my photography. Like there's been some shots where I've used actual fire, and then I come out of like my art room, and I remember one time I went into the bedroom. She was like, "You smell like smoke." And it was like the whole room was full of smoke. I didn't notice it because like I'm so into it. So that's one of the other rules that I have. Like don't do fire without the wife being home. But as far as like not kind of falling into what other people do, like I I try to, like, if I learn something from what an artist does, I try to make sure that I use it to do something else, so that I'm not doing the exact same thing with the exact same way or process that I did it. So I'll always try to apply it to something else that I'm doing. And just I appreciate other people's work, but I try not to focus too much, especially when I'm building something, on what someone else has done, because subconsciously too, you can start making something that actually looks a lot like what they've done. And so like I'll go to just different resources, whether it's just like watching TV, watching movies, watching shows, and seeing how I can just pick up things here and there. Like if I played a game and it had like a vehicle, and I'll be like, oh, that part of it kind of looks kind of cool. Maybe I can take that and bring it over here. But
Yeah.
that's usually my rule, is just, appreciate the other artists out there, but try to kind of have this self-awareness that don't take it too much as a reference, where then you turn around and you look at what you've done and it's just a replica of what they did.
Hmm. And the painting part, like,
Mhm.
because you're using different materials, right? Like,
Mhm.
and I'm guessing, like, paints, like sometimes it's a pain on the butt because some
Yeah.
materials don't the paint doesn't stick like well, and then you need to use different type of like
Yeah.
techniques or brands, or like, so what do you do when you're using, for example, that vehicle for Thundercats, right?
Mhm.
Like, I bet it use different type of plastics, right? Like
Yeah.
some are
Yeah.
like super smooth, some rough,
Mhm.
and sometimes the paint doesn't stick properly. So what's
Yeah.
your
I,
approach to that?
I learned the hard way that if you're going to paint on something that's plastic, you got to make sure you sand it first.
Hmm.
Sand it, and sand it good. Wash it with soap and water. Because if you don't, it'll just stay slick. And then once you paint on it, I don't care if you paint on it with regular paint, like acrylics or spray paint, it'll start chipping off and it'll start just coming right off. So
Hmm.
whenever it's something that's like non-porous, like the Christmas ornaments that I had mentioned earlier, like if it's something
Correct.
like that, you got to give it like a full sanding. And then after that, then it'll take paint, no problem. But usually what I like to do is I have this one part Mod Podge and then one part paint. Doesn't matter what kind of acrylic paint. You mix it together, and then when you cover whatever it is that you're gonna start painting, it acts as a primer, and it makes painting a lot easier.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And what's the most difficult part? The build or the painting?
The painting, definitely the painting, because when I do the build, especially after like I've primed everything, I'm often I often have this feeling like, okay, if I paint this, I feel like I'm gonna ruin it because everything looks nice and cohesive. But once the painting process starts, like I've just come to kind of tell myself it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay if like you got to go back and repaint something, because I've had things where it's like it's painted fully, and then all of a sudden you find out, oh, there was a mistake, and now things are starting to kind of go bad. And these are things that I like to include in my videos, because I want people to see that I'm not perfect by any means, and I'm not this perfect artist that just gets things done on the first try. Like I mess up. Like for instance, with the bomb that I did, I
Mhm.
made a huge mistake with this. Like I started off by having this plastic Christmas ornament that I wrapped in aluminum, because like I didn't want, like I needed a perfectly round shape, but I didn't think that I can do that on my own. So I was like, well, if I have a Christmas ornament and I wrap it in aluminum, it'll still look like a perfect ball. And so I did that. I put the clay on, I started sculpting it, I threw it in the oven, and in the oven, the plastic underneath started melting. And so not only was it like giving off like fumes, but I ended up having to redo it because when I pulled it out of the oven, there were just cracks everywhere. And so those are just things that you kind of learn along the way. And those are things that I kind of want to share with people. So it's like, don't make the mistakes that I've made, like learn from them.
Correct.
Yeah.
So what I want to do, if it's cool with you, man, I wanted to show
Mhm.
a little snippet of one of your episodes. So
Sure.
let me do that real quick here. So this one is the Tonberry.
Okay.
Let's see, let me get the audio.
If it looks this bad, I can't wait to see what it looks like in a couple of months. All that aside, it's going to get dirtier today as I pay tribute to the tiny terror known as Tomberry. This little menace deserves to be caged, and today I'm going to fashion one for him. I've had this case for quite some time now, and honestly, this project is just an excuse to do a little spring cleaning. I picked this up at a Spirit of Halloween years ago, and apparently I paid $7 for it. This bat is a little too Halloween for me, so I'll chop it off and figure out something to replace it with that's more in line with Tomberry. For the base, I want to make a dry, mountainous desert terrain. I think it'll suit Tomberry really well. I 3D printed this Tomberry from Thingiverse, and my plan is to make him a custom lantern that can be turned on and off using a switch that'll be fixed to the base. Shouldn't be too hard.
Look at that. I hate
But that base, Carlos, that base, it kind of had, it gave me the same issue where like at first I didn't remember to sand it, and so when I laid the paint wasn't adhering at all, and so then I had to go back, wipe the paint off, resand it, and then it laid down.
You
smooth.
can tell because of the reflection. It's like really, really smooth.
Mm-hmm.
All right, here we go.
Here we have all the pieces. I printed out an extra chunk of tail because Tomberry is going to have to undergo a little bit of surgery. I'll have to amputate his tail and replace it with a fresh transplant. Parts of the print have unseemly rough patch areas. Using an X-Acto knife, I can shave off the excess plastic. Following up with a high grit wet sandpaper ensures a nice smooth finish. As for the visible printing lines that remain, I'll deal with that later. Right now, I'm needed for surgery. I know you're nervous, but it'll be okay, little guy. Just have to mark out where I'll be making the incision. Nice and easy.
I love your editing.
Uh-oh. Thank you.
We're losing him. He's dying.
Hold on. See, he's fine. Nothing to worry about. In order to create a strong and solid bond, I sprinkle some baking soda before applying the super glue. I make sure to cover all the areas and this tail is ready to terrorize. Yeah. To bring down the coarseness caused by the glue, I go back to wet sanding. Remember these lines I said we were going to tackle before? They're all over the bottom of the print. Well, here's what I do for that. This here is Bondo brand glazing and spot putty. Apparently it's used for auto body repair, but it works wonders for 3D print. Place, I need to figure out the foliage situation. This is my big bin of moss, but the color is too bright and lively for Tomberry's stomping grounds.
And I have like a
I'm
bunch
gonna have
of
to
bins
airbrush
with
the
like
moss to
different
make it look
stuff.
a little more dried
Okay.
out. For that, I
That are
use
just
darker
stuffed with
shades of
things.
green followed with a tannish brown. To cover Tomberry's flesh, I'm using Vallejo's Model Air airbrush paint set. This light green was just the shade that I needed. I'm happy with the results. Not too bright, not too dark. If you're wondering what's going on here, I wanted to paint his eyes without ruining his skin, so for that I'm turning to the silly putty. With that, say hello to the newest Ninja Turtle. So I laid on the yellow a bit too thick. Here's hoping this works. Nah, it peeled the Vallejo right off the eyes too. This one's a bust. I I redid the eyes with a paintbrush and some airbrush paint. I want Tomberry to be secured to his base. For that, I'm going to mark out the placement and make 2 holes with my manual drill. After fixing the base with proper metal foot pegs, it's time to set Tomberry down. Nice. A few small details and it's time to move on to highlighting. For those who haven't watched the previous video, I prefer using eyeshadow as a way of applying highlights. With the help of a trusty Q-tip, I'm able to blend the colors smoothly. For those wondering, it works just as well on foam as it does on plastic and clay. And that's like one of my favorite, like,
to make the lantern
kind of
see-through,
cheats
I'm
for
going
like
to use
highlighting
this
things.
acrylic dowel.
Hmm?
This truly is one of my favorite parts of crafting. Having an idea so clearly in my head and going through the process of trying to make it happen. When it clicks, it feels great. To light his little lantern, I'm going to be using this flame candle. I got the idea from Dr. Toys, a really talented crafter. Be sure to check out his channel if you haven't already. For the top and the bottom of the lantern, I designed and printed these lids. I made this handle off camera. After fixing it in place, the top is ready to be glued on. Taking the plastic flame, which I cut down to size, I glue it to the bottom base of the lantern. I give it a little test to preview how it should look in the end, and with that it's safe to assemble.
Messing with like things that small is always hard because I got big hands.
Just one more
Yeah.
test to keep the excitement going. I drilled a hole to line up with the lantern and I prepped this rock to hide the wires that'll travel up from the bottom of the base. It provides a nice snug fit, and with that it's time to start setting down the rocks. Can't forget about this little guy. As I'm placing the moss, I'm trying to be careful not to overdo it. I want this base to retain its arid-like qualities. Tomberry wouldn't be complete without his trusty Japanese kitchen knife in hand. It's time for this bat to take a hike. Wasn't too bad of a cut. I was originally going to put this Final Fantasy VII logo on the top, but I felt like it would have been too much. What do you guys think? Let me know. The handle gets screwed back into the lid and Tomberry will be preserved never to stab anyone again.
Impressive, dude.
Thank you. And that's kind of like an example of what I was saying, learning how to do something, but then applying it to something else. Because like the guy that I learned how to do that trick with the candle light, he had used it because he had made a robot and then he used it to kind of be like the eye of the robot. And I was thinking, like, when it came time to do the candle, how was I going to do like the little flame and everything? And I kind of thought back to that. And so I applied it in that way.
Well, it looks fantastic, dude. Like, and the paint work. I mean, that's a piece that looks like you're going to a store and you buy that, like, you know, like it doesn't look like a custom, like at all. Like,
I appreciate that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
looks
for
like,
those who were watching or didn't know about Elmer's craft and his channel, I put the link up here so you guys can click on it and you know, watch these awesome videos.
I'm
Like
gonna share like your page, like,
I appreciate
as
it.
soon as we finish here. Yeah, sure, 100%.
Yeah, dude. I think, like, you know, like you said, it's not a tutorial, as in you're not going from point A to point Z, but you technically are. Like, you know, you're covering the main points, and the editing is so awesome, you know, because honestly, like, when you have someone just with a GoPro just sitting there, because these things take hours sometimes, and just document
Days.
the whole thing, dude, it's people are gonna get bored. So the fact that you're chopping it up into little nuggets and, you know, putting in little comedic things and little stuff, like, it's awesome, dude. And
No, it's really, really entertaining. Like, I was into it. Like, I was,
even if you're not a Final Fantasy fan, right? Like, I used to play the game back in the day, but like, even if I'm not so much of a fan like you are, for example, it just draws you in, the creative process.
Oh yeah, I don't know anything about Final Fantasy. I just like the look of the characters. That's it.
Yeah. And that's what I like. My hope is like that you don't necessarily have to be a fan of the game to just enjoy like just the process of crafting of the art itself, and finding the different ways to bring these projects together. That's what I hope people can kind of come and see and stay for, and
Now,
mhm.
I do have a suggestion for you, and it is to stay within the sandbox, but play a little bit outside the sandbox in the sense of like, I hope you have plans to do other IP, like
Oh sure, yeah.
legend stuff, do you know video
And
game property stuff, horror,
I did mention that because like the first video that I ever released was kind of just like a backstory of like how I came to opening up the channel, why I opened it up. And for the time being, yes, I am going to be doing like Final Fantasy 7 stuff, but I want to go into like Metal Gear Solid. I want to go into TMNT, Thundercats, just a lot of different IPs like you're saying. But for now, it's just I'm going to be sticking to that. And then when that time comes, like for the people that are fans of Final Fantasy, they'll have the playlist for that. And then for the newcomers, they can have different things. GI Joe I would like to do some stuff with.
You should do Warhammer.
This guy Carlos has become like this Warhammer addict. He like sold a bunch of shit, and then he's bought like a ton of Warhammer figures.
I'm buying like all the Joy Toy figures, dude, from Warhammer.
Well, show some of them.
You're gonna like an episode that's coming up. I haven't sat down to start the project yet, but there is a Final Fantasy enemy that I'm gonna be taking a McFarlane Warhammer like soldier and making it into like I'm gonna be customizing it.
Did you ever seen the Joy Toy ones?
No.
Check this craziness. This is
wow.
118.
Yeah, that's cool. Like I have no idea like anything about the story of Warhammer or anything like that, but the figures definitely look cool.
No, yeah, the story is insanity. It's pretty much like the Inquisition, like in the future, right?
Okay.
Like pretty much. It's what it is. But I mean, everything about like Warhammer is like I love now, dude. Like I'm into it. Big
so
time.
what kind of pulled you in? Was it the story? Was it the look of the figures? Or
okay, so I started because I mean I love metal, right? Like I'm a metalhead, and I mean I start like checking on the actual like action figures, and I was buying the McFarlane ones, like these ones, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, they look so cool, whatever. But like McFarlane, I mean, for the price, they're like really good. I mean, he always try to, I think, like put a lot into the sculpting and stuff, but because he needs to keep them in a lower price, he doesn't put that much paint apps, on the figures. So when I was watching this one day, I started like checking the Joy Toy ones, which are like import, but they're like smaller size, right? And I was like, damn, these look exactly like the miniatures, right? And I was like, wow, they look amazing. So I was like, you know what? Let me try. I'm gonna buy one, right, and see what's going on. And it blows my mind, like how well done they are, how good articulated they are. The paint apps they put on those little figures, like 118 is like, it's 3 3/4 inch. So I was like impressed. And then I start like, at the beginning, I start buying the Primarchs, which are like bigger figures. Like they're supposed to be like demigods that they're like 10 feet to 15 feet tall, right? So they fit perfectly with McFarlane because they're like pretty much the same size. Yeah. So I bought one, and when I got, let me show you, this one was the one I got first, and I was like, oh my god, I need this. Let me show you. So I got this guy right here.
Oh, that's cool looking.
This guy right here, which is like, his name is like Robute Gilliman, and he's like kind of like the main character right now. The detail they put on these things.
I love that sword. That sword is cool.
Oh yes, yeah, that's the sword of the emperor. So this is one of the primary. He's like a demigod. He's like kind of like one of the sons of the emperor, but he's right now the one who's like administrating the whole empire because the emperor is in a coma. So look, they're like the same size as the McFarlane ones.
Yeah,
but he's
and they got good articulation too.
Ooh, dude, it's insanity. I mean, they can do everything. He has like drop hips with all these. Like, let me show you. Just like the pauldrons. Look at the pauldrons system. They have like articulation on the pauldron, so you can leave the arm the most you can, and you're not gonna like with all this armor on it.
Yeah,
and
it
can go like 360 and everything. The legs has like drop kick, like drop hips. You see how it drops, so you can kick that high.
Wow,
check that out.
For such a bulky figure, you wouldn't
exactly
do that well.
Like when I first saw it, I didn't think it had much movement to it.
No. It's like the articulation of these things is like insane, and the small ones are insanity too. Like they're like impressive, like how well articulated are and all the detail. Like for example, the regular figures are these ones. Let me show you. These are the regular figures. These are the intercessors, right?
Okay.
So these and
do those have removable helmets?
Yes, you can pull the helmet out, and they have like alternate heads. So you can take that out. So, but look at the articulation of these things. Has like double joint on the knees.
Wow.
Yeah.
Double joint on the elbows, ball joints everywhere. Like,
oh my god.
And it's insane. I mean,
I think it's funny. I think that same figure that you're having, like the McFarlane one, because I got the one that's like the artist proof one that's all gray.
Oh yeah.
And so like I'm gonna be using that in a video to make a custom figure with. Yeah.
Yeah, this is a chaos. This is a Chaos Marines. So this guy is supposed to be so the same size as this one. These are the same as this one, right? So pretty much in the scale, the Space Marine, this is a Space Marine, right? The Space Marines on the Joy Toy is like, this guy is supposed to be like 7 feet tall. And this guy right here is like 15 feet tall.
I mean, that height difference is crazy.
Yeah, because he's supposed to be like a demigod or something like that. So this, the one you like, the one you're gonna do, like the custom, these guys are like Space Marines that they were like corrupt by demons. And that's why they call them like Chaos Marines. And you see like all the monster style, they don't look like smooth like these ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I keep looking at it, and where my brain is going is like, if I had that figure, especially like if I had that figure and I was scrapping it for parts, I'm looking at it like, oh, I could use that for this and this for that. You know? Yeah. That's just where the brain goes.
Like just like by taking this backpack, because people think this is a jetpack. It's not a jetpack. This is supposed to be, because they're like fighting in space, and these vents right here are like stabilizers when they're like in the atmosphere.
Oh, okay.
So they're not like a jetpack. So these guys are supposed to be like enhanced humans. They're like they have like, I think 4 lungs, 2 hearts.
Wow.
Yeah.
So the lore goes deep with that then. Like,
dude, that's what I say. I started because I like the figures, how they look, but then I start reading about it, and dude, it's
like no going back.
insane to the point that I bought the app and I'm watching like all these cartoons and movies they have, and it's insane, dude.
That's cool
Wow.
though.
So how much are those, Carlos? Like the big dude? How much do those guys
So these ones right here are like $25 to $30.
Mm.
But they're like super detailed. They come with extra hands, extra heads, weapons, like, and they're like really customizable. I mean, you can pull this guy all apart and you can build something else. And with this guy right here was like 120, I think.
Yeah.
But look at the detail on this thing.
Yeah. I mean, it's a big difference, bro. Huge. Like there's so much more deco and
It's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's insane. I mean, I'm not, to be honest with you, I'm not complaining at all about the price because I know all the effort they put on these things.
Mhm.
You know, like it is what it is. I mean, it's not McFarlane. McFarlane is like, this one was like $40 almost.
Oh wow.
I would like to see that one by Joy Toy. Like their take on it.
Well, they have Chaos Marines,
Oh, he got it.
but not, I don't have that one specifically.
Oh, all right.
But I have like, this one is like a champion of the Chaos Marines.
Okay. Oh, that's cool. But
Yeah.
you see, look at that face sculpt and look at all those details on the armor, you know? It's definitely got so much more deco.
And you see the vents on the back.
Dude, that's crazy.
It's insane because, you know, I didn't know Henry Cavill was a fan of Warhammer.
Oh, that's what he plays then.
And he actually painted the miniatures.
But he also plays it on because they were talking about how he built a computer specifically to play Warhammer. And he's actually working on doing a series for Amazon Prime, dude.
It's supposedly he's gonna be the producer.
The producer
of the series. Yes.
And
And they say they want him because he's such a geek of Warhammer that he's been playing his whole life Warhammer. And he like hand painted the little miniatures. That's
Which is
insane.
hard. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
you gotta have those special glasses.
I watched a video
And a steady hand too.
I watched a video tutorial on how they do that. Dude, they use like those like maximized lenses with these super mega thin like brushes. Dude, no way, Jose.
The closest I get to that is doing heads when I'm doing customs. Is like painting the eyes and the
how
teeth.
you paint the eyes? That's so difficult.
I have this right here.
Do you like to paint eyes?
No.
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 It was like really
That's
fast.
the worst.
Because like I don't have a steady hand. I really don't have a steady hand.
That's
But
the
like
worst.
one
the
of
worst
the
part,
things
right?
So
I was gonna get glasses like that. Yeah.
How you
have
do
the
that?
light built in. You just put it over. Boom. The problem with me now is that since I'm wearing glasses, when I put them on with the glasses, it's like I really have to play with the positioning because I have progressive lenses. So that I could see, I could focus in on the details. But it's a really cool tool. I got this on Amazon, not too much, and it brings like 5 interchangeable lenses. I think they're all the same. It's just in case they get scratched.
But Jorge, did you enjoy painting eyes?
No, I don't enjoy it, but
I don't think anyone does.
it's a necessity when you're doing customs.
Yeah.
I think
But that's one thing
one of the trickiest things for me was doing Panthro's eyes. The custom that I did, the Mythic Legion's Panthro, like doing his eyes.
How difficult?
Was such a pain in the ass. Yeah. I think what I ended up doing for the eyebrows was I used a really thin Sharpie to do the eyebrows. And then the eyes, I must have done them like 3 times where it was just like getting that right color dot and then doing the little line split. Oh my
Yeah.
god, that was so
There,
difficult.
there's a video on YouTube that I got a lot out of. It was by it's an old video now. It's by Sideshow Collectibles, and they had like a series where they would show like the artists actually like painting the statues. And one of the guys, his name is Bernardo Escoval, and one video that I've watched a ton of times is when he does the Superman, and that's where I got like that silly putty idea from, because whenever he would airbrush, he would put silly putty on the stuff that he had already painted to kind of protect it. But like
Right.
seeing him do the eyes, like I think he would use like a very thin Sharpie, like a thin point, and then he would blot out the eyes, and then from there he would start with the paintbrush. And just watching it, like he had the same glasses, just watching it, it's like you got to have like a surgeon's hand that doesn't shake, doesn't move. Like,
And then when you think about you're talking about Sideshow, that's probably like a quarter scale statue, which means
yeah,
that
That's
Superman
big.
head is probably the size of my fist. Imagine
probably, but it's even
working
worse.
on
Yeah,
something like
go.
this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like that's tough, man.
Mhm.
But
You know who paint miniatures? Roberto.
oh yeah,
Yep.
That's
he does
cool.
that. And dude, I was like, dude, this doesn't look fun at all. I mean,
you know what? A lot of people, I think, what they do is they use it as
that's a relaxation.
yeah, like a relaxation thing.
Wow,
I would be stressing out, dude.
I would be just throwing them out left and right. Like, no.
Just paint miniatures, bro. Like, I mean, when I'm
I
doing
mean-
customs, I really enjoy myself. You know, like I'm just
Okay.
working, dry brushing, bringing out colors and stuff. It's just when you get to those faces, the eyes and stuff. It's like,
Yeah.
you know, it's
Or
crazy.
like when like
That's the most difficult part, right? Like eyes, maybe the mouth.
The teeth, like if you got to paint the gums,
Yeah.
it's tough. And then what I hate with painting is that the brush, the little hairs, they start like getting all out of whack. So then when you're painting, you have most of the brush, but then you got one or two little hairs that are like going the opposite way.
But I think that comes with too, like the pricing of the paintbrushes, because some people they go deep and they have like expensive brushes where like the bristles are a certain type of fiber from who knows where in the world, and it's like they don't have that same issue. Because I have the same problem. I go cheap with my paintbrushes, and so it's like
That could
if
be
I could get like a
but look,
if I could get a pack of like 30 brushes for like $10, I'm there.
I'll show you. Like, this is my thinnest brush. It's a Princeton brush. I want to say this is a Winsor and Newton, I believe.
How
This
much
brush-
it cost you?
This brush cost me like $10.
Hell no.
And it's just like 5 little hairs, bro. And
What is that? Goat hairs? Horse hairs? What kind of
don't
hairs we
know,
talking
dude.
about?
I don't know what kind of hairs, but
You need like some koala hairs.
koala. Then these are like Citadel from the actual brand Citadel that makes the brushes, the paints for miniatures, and they make their own brushes and stuff. But
Those are made out of gremlins' hairs.
There you go.
but I'm sure that, like, you know, if you get a Winsor and Newton book brush or something like that, you can probably get
It's-
better quality.
It's kind of like chefs with their knives. Like the more expensive the knife, like especially if they've been at their craft for so long, they've invested so much money on like different knives. I think it's the same thing with like brushes, but and then taking care of the brushes. Like I'm not a person who takes good care of my brushes. Like I got to remind myself, wash them out, make sure you don't leave them with paint on, because then that could just screw everything up.
But there's some paints, like for example, I do simple stuff. I'm not like you guys. What I do is like I dry brush, you know, like to highlight maybe like weapons, you know, with metal stuff. Like I do like dry brush, I do like black wash and stuff like that. But sometimes it's a pain on the butt. Like to clean. I mean, when you're coming from one paint to a different color, and then you need to wash it, right? Clean it, and then you go back and you're painting. I mean, sometimes the paint get dry like super fast, especially when you're doing like dry brush.
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost impossible, like to try to take. I mean, I guess dry brush is more easy because you can use like a brush that doesn't cost that much, so you don't care. But anyways, like, I mean, buying a $10 brush.
Yeah. Well, it's like what Elmer said.
I try to like have, especially if I'm just painting with like acrylic paints, I'll just have different brushes for different colors, so I don't have to keep going back and forth like washing the brush. But I find that it's a big pain when it comes to airbrushing. When it comes to airbrushing, and you got to wash that airbrush gun out to change the color, and that's when it becomes a thing. And especially if like you start having problems midway, like the amount of times that I fight with that airbrush, it's like
Van Johnson.
What's up, man?
What's up, Van Johnson? So yeah, I think like what Elmer says, I think it's
gang in the house.
The quality of the brush is definitely going to make the difference if you get those little crazy hairs and stuff like that. So we usually do like a little show us your haul kind of thing. Carlos already showed us a bunch of his Joy Toy stuff. I know he has a lot more stuff, but I think I'm gonna jump in here and show some of the stuff I've gotten recently. So I don't know if anybody here is a fan of Ghostbusters, but I was really excited about the new Ghostbusters movie, Frozen Empire. I went to see it opening weekend, and it was just so fun. I know a lot of critics like shit on it, but I think the movie was great. It was super entertaining. It was a lot of fan service, and it felt like an old school Ghostbusters movie. And they had this limited edition popcorn container, which is an actual
nice.
That's cool.
That's plastic.
I had to get it. It was
wow.
It was you put the popcorn.
That's fancy.
So the cool thing is there's also a Slimer popcorn bucket, which is transparent. And what you can do is you can actually this has a light. I'm gonna figure it out here. But what you can do is you can actually put the Slimer in here and turn on the light, and it looks like Slimer's getting sucked in to the ghost
That's
trap.
cool.
So
do you own that too, or no?
No, I don't have the Slimer because Slimer, it was different movie chains. So like I got this at Regal Cinema, and then Slimer was Movieco, and Movieco is like the closest one to me is really far away. So I had to skip on it. But this is really cool the way that you can open the
Man, that's really fancy, dude.
It's a little light that indicates that you have a ghost inside. This light turns on. So yeah, it's really cool. I thought it was really awesome to have I normally don't go for like all these gimmicky things, but this is a lot cheaper than the Hasbro one. It was like $25. The Hasbro one.
I mean, but it honestly doesn't seem like something that you would get at the movie theater. Like that seems like pretty good quality. Like
usually they give you like those cheap buckets.
It has rolling wheels and everything.
Wow,
super cool. So that was.
I wonder who they partnered to get to make that.
I wonder how much was that popcorn? Like $50?
No, actually, I'm doing keto now, so I actually got the popcorn container.
Shut up.
But I didn't buy any popcorn.
Shut
up. Just like
now
give me the bucket.
Yeah.
I'm doing keto, dude. I've already lost like 12 pounds. I'm staying. I gotta go.
I want to see how long it's gonna last.
Oh, dude, I did it before, and I want to go down to like 165 pounds, which is what I was when I met my wife. So,
you want to be a top model?
Nah, I just want to. I want to be around when my daughter graduates college. I want to be around. So, another thing that I got today, particularly, Diamond sent in some of these
okay.
cool, the Jean-Claude Van Damme. I don't know what this is called. It's JCB World, and it's just like, isn't this from Bloodsport though? Why
This
is
is
this
from
from
Bloodsport.
JCB World?
Yeah, but they have, it's like a line called Jean-Claude Van Damme World. So I guess they're gonna do all the movies.
All the movies. But
Yeah.
instead of calling it the Bloodsport figure, they just call it JCVD World. Just kind of weird.
Correct.
But this is cool. This is designed by Iman. I always miss
Mispronounce his name.
mispronounce his name.
Iman
But what's
Donahue.
the last name?
Donahue.
Is it Donahue
Yeah,
or is it
Donahue.
Iman Donahue?
Iman Donahue.
Oh, so we got a couple people joining in. We got the Purple Gang. What's up, everyone?
Purple Gang
What's
in
up?
the house.
How many goats have you trapped since your purchase? Wholesome Warlock. What's up, Wholesome Warlock? My brother is Purple Gang. Hey, man. Donna who? I remember when I saw him in person at the I was like, Donahue.
Oh, dude, that was so wrong.
I slaughtered
so
his
wrong.
last name.
That
So
was so wrong.
this right here, man. I can't wait to pop this open. This is the
Check-
new Marvel Select Captain America Deluxe. This is awesome because they have 3 looks. You got Steve Rogers, you got old school Cap,
Nice.
and you've got the classic 80s golden era Cap.
It's
I
beautiful.
love the fact that they give you the straps. They're removable, so you don't have to have them on. He could be carrying a shield, classic style, without the harness, with the harness, without the World War II belt, with the World War. It gives you so many options, man. And I've seen some pictures of him posed out, and it looks really good. And then also, which I know Carlos
Go
has.
to my YouTube channel and check the review.
Yeah, check the review Carlos has right now. Crimson Dynamo. This guy looks super cool in person. He looks kind of like a Russian version of, which I know Crimson Dynamo is Russian, but he looks like a Russian version of the bad dude in Iron Man 1. What was his name?
Yeah, Ironmonger.
Iron Man.
Ironmonger.
Yeah, but what was his name? The dude, the guy in the suit. I forget. his
Jean-Claude
name.
Van Damme.
Ahí está.
No. I don't remember his name right now, but anyways, he looks like him in comic book form.
You want me to remember the name of the guy that plays Ironmonger?
Dude, they made it. They mentioned a lot in the movie, and they even made a figure of him.
I barely
Wasn't he played
remember-
that? Wasn't he played by the guy that did the dude in
The dude, yeah. It's
Yeah.
Obadiah
I
Stane.
barely remember Robert Downey Jr., dude.
Obadiah Stane.
What's the name?
Obadiah Stane.
Jesus Christ.
like anyone remembers that?
Yeah. Yeah. Like everybody loves onion rings from Burger King.
No, Van Johnson. It's not Sam Rockwell. I need to find that Select Doom. It continues to evade me. You're looking for the Marvel Select Doom, the one that comes with
Select
the throne?
Doom. Oh yeah, that one is with the throne. That one is
I would want it for the throne so I could put my Mezco Dr. Doom on it, but like by now the Marvel Select Doom is like, eh. Jeff Bridges played him. The 2-pack comes with a dope suitcase. The 2-pack of what?
Probably
What-
him and like Iron Man and Ironmonger maybe.
Oh yeah, the Iron Man Ironmonger from Marvel Legends. Obadiah something. Yeah, the chat remembers Obadiah and Ironmonger. Yeah. So no. And then another thing I picked up when I was in Orlando is I'm a huge fan of James Groman, and he's been redesigning the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which ironically I'm not a huge Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle guy, right? But I love Universal Monsters and I love James Groman. And what he's been doing with the Universal Monsters X Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles universe is awesome, dude. I picked up the Wolfman. Raphael is the Wolfman.
Nice.
This thing is so cool, bro. Like, if you look at the details of this thing in hand, you know, he had like his size are actually the handles are like bones, like probably leg bones, and then he has like a bunch of interchangeable parts. He looks like the werewolf from the classic Universal Monsters, but obviously he has the bandana from Raphael. And then, you know, Groman puts all these little details, like he puts little hidden details, like hidden around the body and stuff. I had the creature from the Black Lagoon also, which is, this one is Leonardo. That's a creature from the Black Lagoon.
I was gonna ask you that. Did they use turtles to play multiple monsters?
That's what it is.
Did they do one with him with the Hunchback?
Yeah.
They did a Hunchback, which was, I believe it was Raphael also. No.
No, Raphael wasn't Raphael the Frankenstein's monster.
Frankenstein's monster Raphael has taken two roles. Wolfman and Frankenstein. The Hunchback, I believe, was another version of Leonardo. So the one I'm waiting for now, which I'm sure is going to come out, is somebody's got to be Dracula, because they did Master Splinter as Van
Helsing,
and they did Casey Jones as the Phantom of the Opera.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and they did April as Bride of Frankenstein. So I'm waiting to see what they're going to do with Shredder and what they're going to do with Dracula. There has to be a Dracula.
Yeah, he needs to be Dracula.
I'm thinking maybe Donatello. I actually did a 2D concept design of Raphael as Dracula because I did some research back in the 90s. There was a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Universal Monster crossover by Playmates, and they had done a Raphael as Dracula. So I kind of did my own design, and it looks pretty cool, but I'm pretty sure James Groman will like blow it out the park. But
didn't they have did Donatello, did they make him into like the Invisible Man? I just remember.
Yeah, you're right, dude. You're right, and I'm missing that one. That's the only Universal Monsters mashup that, because I'm only getting the Turtles. I didn't get the Casey Jones or the Splinter or anything like that. But this also was like a fluke. I'm a huge Thundercats fan, obviously, duh. But I haven't been able to buy everything because it's pretty expensive. And I saw somebody posted on the Thundercats forum on Facebook that, and I couldn't believe it, that the Mumra toy color version was on Amazon for $29.99. This thing was $75, bro. So I was like, holy shit, let me check. And when I checked, it was sold out. But then thankfully the next day it was up again, but it was $35. But I was still like, $35. And dude, I got this thing for $35, and I literally got it the next day I ordered it. And it's an awesome figure. I was planning on getting it regardless, but for $35, I
used to have like the original when I was a kid that looked like that.
Based on the original Mumra, which is super cool because they did the cartoon version, which is amazing, but these toy homage ones are freaking fantastic because they look. It's not just they painted it that color. They actually sculpted original parts and heads and stuff. Like for example, the toy Mumra used to bring a dagger, and that's nowhere in the cartoon. But this figure has the dagger. You know what I mean? And it has the two alternate heads, and you can remove the headpiece and all that stuff. So yeah, that's pretty much all the recent stuff I got. Oh, and I got the Logan Sabretooth 2-pack.
Yeah, me too. It looks amazing, dude.
Yeah, it's awesome. So I wanted to segue, unless Elmer, you have any stuff to show off that you've gotten.
Oh no. And that's the thing. Like that Mythic Legions that I got, the boxes, still in the box, bro. Still in the box. Yeah.
Which ones you got?
I got the one that was like the horse. Was it Flagus and the Poxes that he kind of looked like
Yeah,
a
boxes.
mosquito thing.
You got the box
And
set.
then
It comes with both.
yeah, the box set, and then
Oh,
and
you
then
got
that
the
blue
2-pack.
dragon.
You got
Yeah.
the 2-pack.
You know what?
Mhm.
I gotta bring this guy up because
You know, I'm collecting the 2-packs, but I'm missing one. And Van, who is watching, also, we missed the Elithia's 2-pack, dude.
this guy is so badass.
Oh,
But
he's awesome.
unfortunately, he took a spill from my shelf, and his sword broke.
Oh.
Well, that's an easy fix. Just use
Yeah. I gotta glue it back
Yeah.
on, but this guy is so freaking cool, bro. Like, I don't know the colors. I don't know if they translate well here on camera, but he has like hints of purple, light blue, and a darker blue on his skin, and it's painted so well.
Yeah, I'm really tempted to get that figure.
And then he has real metal rings as earrings. The eyebrows pop out of the sculpt, you know, the horns in the back. Like, I'm planning on getting a couple of these because I want to do stuff with it. Like, the parts, I want to do like a dark Jin that's going to be like if he's made of flames and stuff. So this guy is amazing. I honestly can say, out of Poxus, this is my favorite figure from the whole wave. This one right here. And I haven't even opened Poxus yet because I've seen people having breakage issues and stuff like that, and I'm kind of nervous. I actually picked up the box set just for like trade fodder or to sell. I'm not really going to get into buying all those 4 horsemen of the apocalypse and their horses and stuff. Like, I don't have space for that, and you know, I just have priorities with my collection. I got my Thundercat.
I'm missing just one. I need that freaking
Elithia?
2-pack. Yeah, because I pre-ordered already the Necronominus 2-pack, so that's gonna come in a few months. I have Poxus in 2-pack, and I got in Megacon. Remember, I got the Addicts 2-pack. So yeah, I'm just missing Elithia's. But right now, I don't want to go to the secondary market in eBay because she's too expensive. It's like $300. I'm
Also,
not gonna.
this purple ponytail, gang. The new wave breaking is fear mongering. Opened 2 all-ins, no issues. Okay, that's good to know. Awesome Warlock. So yeah, I just don't have a lot of time to sit and open stuff. And I don't know about you guys, but for me, opening a toy is like a ritual. I don't rip the box. I have to cut the tape, take out the tray, take every part out, take pictures. I don't just open it and just, I have a process. Like, once I open something, I do an unbox. I'll probably do like a quick little video unboxing it. I'll take pictures with it. So it's a whole ritual. So it takes longer for me to open stuff, you know? But one thing I definitely want to show, because Carlos and I, we had this guy as a guest, and he's also another local from South Florida. I picked up 2 of the 9 to 5 Warriors.
They look amazing.
Dude, look at this. I'm not going to open these guys because eventually I got to get another set. But I got Colonel Custard.
Nice.
And Colonel Custard, dude, the packaging, everything about this, it makes you think
90s.
that you're in the 90s, bro. Look at that. All the way down to like proof of purchase.
It's beautiful.
On the back, the little comic strip, the little
and the bio that you cut out. Yeah.
Bro, and it's such a cool concept and story, dude, that my friend Brandon, the creator and owner of this line, he has such an awesome imagination. But this guy's awesome. Check this out, Elmer. Tech Sergeant Scotchy. He's an actual Scotch tape dispenser, bro.
That looks cool.
When you open them, like, you can actually put a roll of tape in there, and then he uses the tape to like rappel off the edge of a desk. It's
That's
like,
cool.
It's ingenious, dude. Like, it's so awesome. The artwork. Look at the artwork. It's so freaking cool.
Yeah, it looks amazing.
So I picked these up from Big Bad and used my store credit to get them. And I think.
Man, you have a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a while since we recorded, I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I wanted to.
Do you open the two-pack already? Dude, this savor to this.
Oh, I did, yeah. I don't know if you saw my pictures. What I did was I posed Logan fighting Sabretooth in front of the Mondo Sabretooth and the Magneto. So it's like a nice contrast showing the comic Sabretooth and the animated series.
Man, he looks
Sabretooth.
so badass. This is the first time they do justice to this.
It's the Omega Red body.
Yeah.
But the head, Victor Creed head, is perfect, bro. Like, that is Sabretooth.
Yeah, totally.
Until now, the best version of Sabretooth that had come out was the Marvel Select. But that one was a little too cartoony and the proportions were a little too exaggerated. This is perfection.
Yeah.
The only thing I think they kind of messed up is the torso. The orange on the torso doesn't match the legs and the arms.
Let me see.
If you look at it closely, it's a different tone of orange.
Mine looks good, I think.
Yeah, if you look, you got to look at it closely. Like, I was watching Robo's review, and Robo has like really high definition videos and stuff, and he had it up to the screen, and you could tell it's more like it's more orange on the arms and the legs, and the torso is a little more yellow. It's like a little lighter.
No, you know what? Mine looks pretty even. Everything. The only part that doesn't look even is the crotch part. And
Oh, really?
Yeah, you can see from here.
Yeah, I mean,
Right there, that line. But the rest, see, like just the front piece, not even the back. If you see from the back, it looks all even.
Yeah.
It's just the front, right there. This little spot right there.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I guess maybe they did some corrections.
Yeah, mine looks perfectly, just that little part.
I gotta look at mine, closely now after seeing that video. Let me see. Also, Warlock says, "Well, wait, there's more. I saved a bunch of money switching my car insurance to Geico." Also, Warlock's got jokes. So I want to say,
that's Jordan.
Huh?
That's Jordan. Warlock is Jordan from the
Jordan.
Purple Gang.
Oh, okay.
That's my brother right there.
So I wanted to segue a little bit from toys. And Carlos, I don't want to spoil you. Elmer, I don't want to spoil you. But have any of you guys been watching X-Men 97 on Disney?
Yes.
I have not.
I watched the last episode, dude.
Oh, dude, let's not spoil. But Elmer, are you a fan of X-Men?
Yeah, and growing up, I grew up with the show every Saturday morning. I think it was like 11 o'clock.
Have you watched the new show?
I have not. I haven't had the chance
So
to.
you
know.
need to do yourself a favor
and binge that shit this weekend, dude.
Because I did see a trailer for it. It looked good, but the thing that kind of messed with me a bit was hearing Wolverine's voice, like the voice actor. I mean, of course he's aged, but like it doesn't sound like that original Wolverine that
Brother, let me
back
tell
in the
you,
day.
that show is a love letter.
bonkers.
It's a love letter to us as children watching that cartoon. It's like if we took a time capsule back to the 90s and it never stopped after Professor X died.
It looks amazing.
And it's so cool because it goes into these mature themes that you're like, wow, Disney allowed this.
It's not for kids, dude.
No, dude. And let me tell you, so far, very little woke. I think the only woke thing that I've seen is that Morph turns into female characters too. Males.
No, but it's to me,
it's acceptable because he morphs into whatever.
Yeah,
that's totally acceptable. But
to me, it's totally fine. I mean, I love and you know that I'm always picking up like that bullshit.
Yeah.
But I was like, wow, this cartoon is freaking insane.
Yes.
Like
so good.
Yeah.
So good. And the last episode, I don't know. It was so sentimental, and they went so hard on that episode, man. Like so hard. They went somewhere that I never expected to see.
They
You know,
were
Hmm.
amazing.
it's so good, Elmer. Trust me, when you watch it,
Yeah, I
you're
got to check it out.
so I know there's a second season locked in, and then I think they silently also greenlit season 3. So there's
Really?
definitely a lot more. Yeah, there's definitely a lot more X-Men in the horizon, and that includes figures. So that one, I wanted to bring up the subject of rebuying stuff. So when you have like, I like X-Men, but I'm not like a hardcore X-Men guy like Thundercats, you know.
Hmm.
So I'll have like my ultimate Magneto. I'll have like my ultimate Wolverine. Um, but when you watch a cartoon like this, Carlos, does it make you want to get those X-Men 97 figures?
Well, there's a couple of figures from there that I would like to have. I mean, I have the Wolverine, and to me, it's the best Wolverine ever. Even to me, better than the Mayfix one. Like, I have that figure right here.
I don't think anything can be better than this right here. I don't think anything trumps this, brother.
No, dude, like, listen, the brown uniform is really cool and everything, but this figure tops that figure, but like,
I
talking
guess it
about
tops it because you're paying $25 versus $100, right?
no, at all. You can check all the reviews and everything. That's the Mayfix one.
This is Mayfix Brown.
Yeah, dude, this thing, the actual proportions and everything. I mean, the Mayfix one. The thing with the Mayfix one is like it's a little stylized. You know, like it's
Well, yeah, it's meant to look like like the way they illustrated him back in the 80s. So
look at this, dude. This figure right here is amazing.
let me ask you a question. Did Logan ever wear the brown and tan suit in the 90s cartoon?
No,
See, because if they made him in that suit, dude, that's an insta buy for me. Because that's my
yeah,
favorite look for Wolverine. That's the Wolverine I grew up with. Was the brown
no. That I love the brown
fighting the
uniform,
ninja?
and I will buy. I had before the tiger stripe Wolverine from Mayfix. I saw that figure, but I didn't like the claws. They were like terrible. So, and I didn't like the fact that the colors didn't match. Like the colors were like kind of like off. So that's why I saw the figure. The brown one that you have is an amazing figure. I'm not saying it's a bad figure whatsoever, but it's an amazing figure. But if I'm going with like one Wolverine in my collection, I mean, I love the tiger stripe more. But I think they're gonna do a reissue on that one. They're doing reissues on every single Mayfix figure,
Yeah.
every single one, including the tiger stripe. So yes, if they re-release that figure, I'm gonna buy that figure because I love the brown suit Wolverine. Actually, I do not like the Marvel Legends Magneto they did for the 97 cartoon. I mean, my Magneto is the Mayfix one. Do you have that one?
I don't, man.
Dude.
I know it's amazing. It's been one of those things that slipped time wise, but the Magneto that I had was the Age of Apocalypse one. I never opened him, and then by the time I was about to open him, they released the pre-order for this guy. So I was like, nah, yeah,
Dude, this
imagine
guy,
that's the perfect Magneto, dude.
this guy is insane. And he comes with the on helmet head. This one that has the shadow head face,
Mhm.
which I love. He comes with a regular helmet head with the head that you can see the face. But the cape is out of this world.
You know what I love is that they sculpted the hair in the back of the helmet.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You still
Because
see it.
Marvel Legends never does that. They've always given us just a helmet.
And he comes with so many accessories. He comes with like, I think like 6 effects. I don't know how many pairs of hands, 4 type of heads, like the helmet itself that he can carry when he's with the unhelmeted head.
That's one thing, dude, that Mondo failed. Because their Magneto, the animated series, Magneto
It's
is
amazing.
incredible. But, and I wonder why, they never gave us an empty helmet that he could just hold in his hand. You know? That would have been perfect. Because that's
But
the way
can you use the he has the unhelmeted head?
he has an unhelmeted head. But then I tried to do that where I put like the
Yeah,
helmet
but I told you about putting,
sideways,
yeah.
you know, with the face looking down, but it's
Uh-huh.
still, you can tell there's a head inside that helmet.
Yeah.
So it just looked like he's holding
In your
someone's
brain,
decapitated head.
you're like, damn.
That'd be cool if like they had like a helmet that was just the helmet, but it had like a hand that had kind of like a hole in it, so you could put a peg in the hand and in the helmet to have it look like it's
To hold
floating,
it.
like he's holding it and it's floating.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
That'd be cool.
you can
So-
make that.
Yeah, you could totally make it, dude. So another thing that I wanted to bring up, because I know that you, Carlos, you're out,
Yeah, tell me.
but you gotta admit this thing is amazing, and it's this right here. Hold on.
Show me. Oh, the Tila? She
Bro.
looks beautiful.
Bro. Holy shit, dude. Like,
She looks beautiful.
this is such an amazing figure, bro. Like the face, the way they painted her. It looks like the Tila from the cartoons, but then with a realistic flair to it.
She looks beautiful.
I love the 2000X. That
I think
2000X head.
that's the head that I love the most.
Bro, it's like, look at that, dude. It's I almost missed out on this, bro. And I was lucky enough that I double checked today and I was able to put it on Klarna and I picked it up. But dude,
She looks beautiful.
like, I know that this is gonna be like really hot in the secondary market. And that's why I got that FOMO, because I really felt like if I missed her now, I would have to pay like $500 plus.
Well,
later
that
on.
happened with Chira.
You know which one's going for crazy money is Beastman. He's like 500 plus.
Yeah. Well, I sold my pretty much
But
my
look
whole
at this.
collection.
Look at this. Look at that, bro. You know what I mean? And then when you look at obviously these pictures, the fan service from Raul, you know, these amazing sculptures in the background and stuff, you know what I mean? It really just sells you.
You know what I love? I love the shadowing they put on the eyes and everything. It looks
Dude,
fantastic.
yeah. Look, this face right here, where she's kind of angry. Oh my god, dude! Like, it's flawless, bro. It's flawless.
She looks like she's smelling something.
she's smelling Cringer's fart. Cringer farted.
But no, joke aside, I love the sculpt. I think it's better than Shira, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
I think
definitely.
it's
I mean,
better
I've
than
never been a fan of the She-Ra property, only like the villains and stuff. But that brings me to the subject of Mondo. So Mondo has announced that they'll be attending C2E2 in Chicago, and Peter recently was on Geek Dad Live, and he mentioned there's going to be some very newsworthy information coming from the Mondo camp at that show. So I believe that's April 26th. So mark your calendars, because, you know, hopefully they're announcing a new IP, some new product. Any idea, Carlos, what you think it might be?
Star Wars.
Star Wars. You know what some people are saying, which was be a really cool choice?
Watch out.
Ghostbusters animated, bro. Because Alex Brewer, Fanplastic 4, he put up a bunch of 3D concept art that he did on his Instagram of all the Ghostbusters animated, and they looked amazing. So people are like, dude, if Mondo were to get
Ghostbusters?
a green light, yeah, the real Ghostbusters, like the animated
Not
series.
bad.
You know those Marvels, those Diamond Select Ghostbusters, they go for a lot of money on eBay, man.
Which
Like
ones?
the
The Diamond?
animated Ghostbusters Diamond Select figures. Like all those guys, they go for like I think like 100 a pop.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, I missed the boat on that. And you know, ironically, Zach from Diamond sent me every single Ghostbusters movie figure to the point where I was able to build the whole rooftop scene. I think it was like 20 figures in total or something like that. But I don't
Okay.
know what happened when the Ghostbusters animated came out. I guess we weren't in contact or something, and I never got those, man. But I would have, out of all the Ghostbusters that I got, I would have loved those animated ones. Those were like the coolest ones. Were you a fan of the Ghostbusters animated series, Joe?
No, I didn't. I don't remember watching it as a kid. I mean, the toys are cool, but I don't remember
How old are you?
watching. I'm gonna be 39 this year.
Okay.
I was
Elmer's
born in
a little-
85.
Yeah.
We're old, dude. We're old.
Elmer's going to the 4-0 and we're going to the 5-0.
Well, don't worry, because like I have moments where it's like when I'm recording and stuff, because I have like a little monitor where I see, you know, as it's recording. I have to put my glasses on to make sure that the camera's in focus, because there's been so many times where like I've recorded a whole thing and none of it has been in focus just
Dude,
because I can't see it.
Listen, brother, I've worn glasses and contacts pretty much my entire life. And I'm at a point right now where my vision has deteriorated so bad that when I have contacts on, I need to use readers to be able to look at my text messages.
Wow.
Or like read stuff online. So what I did was I made the decision of getting glasses, and these are progressive. So depending on the direction that my eye is looking, I have different prescriptions. So if I look down, it's for reading. If I look straight forward, it's for computer and working. And then if I and like middle, there's like a transition. But if I look to the sides, it's complete blur. So at first, when I started using them, I got a little nauseous and a little dizzy adapting to it, but it's been great, you know, because I don't have to be switching glasses and stuff like that. But still,
And they let you drive like that?
yeah, you could drive with them. But here,
You're like Cyclops, dude.
still, there are times where I have to use my camera and zoom in on things to read them, bro. It's like, so that's one thing, you know, that, hey, Carlos, by the way, just in case you didn't know, Emil shared pictures of your death dealer on his Instagram.
I know.
So it's cat is out of the bag, basically.
No. But yeah, but not the people don't know it's mine.
Oh, I see.
So I posted on my Instagram.
Okay.
So, but yeah, like not too many people know that it's mine because I told him to put the actual figure on his booth,
right,
and Legion's Con
and display it and stuff. Yeah. But
yeah.
like,
So
I don't know how to put Instagram on here, but Elmer, check that out.
that's
So
my figure.
That's a Mythic Legions figure, and it's customized to look like Death Dealer.
And he did the horse and everything.
Yeah, that's
it's insane. It's insane. And watch for the next one because I ordered another one.
Oh, you did? Huh.
Yeah. So I'm gonna be. I was talking to him actually because I don't know how I'm going to bring that back home after Legion's Con. So I told him, like, dude, what's the best, like the ideal to transport that thing, because I'm gonna have the horse and the figure. The figure doesn't bother me that much, but the horse is. So I may need to get like bubble wrap or something like that, and then put my clothes around. Like, I have no idea.
Yeah,
Just don't use the USPS. because the package that I sent George, oh man,
Oh my God.
when he sent me the picture of it, I was scared that
No, dude.
Sky Cutter was destroyed.
It looked like
No,
somebody sat on my box, basically.
No, I have actually, thankfully, remember George when we went to Legion's Con on 2022, right?
Yeah.
So in 2022, I bought this luggage, like this suitcase that is like those like hard plastic ones, and it cost me like a little bit because it was like I choose like one with good quality, which is like really really hard. So, and that was for Legion's Con to bring my figures back. Remember? So
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna take that one to Legion's Con, and then I don't know how I'm gonna pack that, but I need to pack that really well so it doesn't get damaged.
I have to share a picture. I'm not gonna say anything, but I have to share a picture in homage to one of my favorite X-Men characters after Wolverine. And all I can say is remember it. That's
okay.
That's all I can say.
I was
Carlos.
always a fan of Gambit.
You know what I'm talking about, Carlos.
Oh my God, it was so badass, dude.
You know, I saw a video somebody put on Twitter, a woman about our age crying her eyes out, talking about how impactful that episode was, and like anyways, Homer, trust me, watch the show. You know what? I just saw this laying around because my wife does some work in here sometimes, and she left this hair clip, and I can only imagine Elmer would be the guy to find something to do with this hair clip, bro.
Yeah.
You could totally do like some
that would probably be like a mouth or something,
right?
and then just build around it.
Yeah, but how you manage to make that mobile?
Oh,
that's the fun. that would be the headache, you know.
It's a lot of pressure that you got to put to open it, you know.
No, but you can open the spring a little bit, so it's not that hard.
Elmer, I'm going to send you a bunch of bath parts that I have laying around.
I'll take them, brother.
To see if you can create some concoction.
Yeah, and I'll point it out, especially if I post something, then I'll just have like little pictures here and there, just pointing at what everything is.
Nice,
awesome,
that's great.
So, guys, this has been an awesome show. I love doing this because we get to geek out, talk about what brings us together, which is the collector community, the hobby. Everything is so much fun. I enjoy doing this weekly. Elmer, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for the invitation.
Really appreciate your participation.
You're welcome to come on here whenever you want, brother. Elmer actually helped me kind of create this whole new thing when my channel got deleted. He helped me kind of reinvent what is Toy Addicts Anonymous, and he actually did the little watermark thing that you see on the top. He did that for me. He did the little seats, so it's supposed to resemble like if we're at an AA meeting. So it's like the people sitting down talking about their addiction to toys. So I wanted to mention that, because Elmer's always been creative inspiration, and he's always done some really cool stuff for me.
And please share your page and everything here, like tell to the guys where we can find you and everything, dude.
I got the link here for his YouTube.
It's Bodega Joe's Custom Studio on YouTube, and then you could search the same name on Instagram. That's where you'll find me. And eventually, like later down the line, I'm working on getting a website going. So there'll be more there.
Awesome. So tell us, what is your what's planned for your next video? Like, what can we look forward to?
For the next video, I was in Dollar Tree and I found some plastic eggs because people were putting stuff out for Easter. So I'm definitely going to be using that to make the next enemy that is coming from the Final Fantasy VII series. And one thing, because like for the first time ever, they announced that they're going to make the whole crew of characters for Final Fantasy. And so I kind of made myself a stupid promise because this was before it happened. I told myself, if it ever does happen, I am going to make a 2-scale weapon from the game, which the weapons were like these 100-foot monsters. And so I'm going to try to make this 3-foot monster to go with the 6-inch figures that are coming out, but that's coming down later down the line,
Awesome.
and that's going to be a whole project to
So
itself.
you're planning on making like a summon? Is that what you're talking about?
Well, it's like they're supposed to be like the guardians of the planet. When there's like a giant crisis, they emerge, and so the things are huge. Like think of like Godzilla. And so
Well,
I told myself jokingly, huh?
That's something new because I remember from the first game we had the summons, which was like Odin.
Yeah, no, it was in the original. It was in the original Final Fantasy VII.
Okay.
And so yeah, just think of like these kaiju sized monsters. And so I didn't think that they would do it, but now that they have done it, I'm going forward with it. So that's probably going to be my last project, and then from there I'll start moving on to other IPs. But it's gonna be like a 3-foot tall figure that I'm gonna make.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Wow.
Insane.
And so how that's gonna work, I haven't really mapped that out yet, but it's coming.
That's awesome, brother. But yeah, man, we'll definitely be in touch, and hopefully you can come on in a few months and we can kind of go over your new videos, and it'd be cool to like discuss one of the projects and stuff behind the scenes. Always awesome to have guests on. So all right. So we'll be on again next week. We'll go back to our regular scheduled programming Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. We'll see you in the toy house. Later, people.
Later.